We've been spending the day here on the edge of the Everglades at Miccosukee Resort, home to the real Florida Gators. And as we drew closer to this much-anticipated main event, the sunset danced across the picturesque horizon. Just a short drive to the east, the famed South Florida nightlife kicked in. South Beach never rests, much like the fighters we will have in this main event. The bright lights of Miami are shining down on the faithful fight fans. The Sports Dome at Miccosukee is sold out, the place to be. Mighty Mike Anchondo back in the ring. He takes on the raging fury that comes in the form of Argentinian Jorge Barrios. Mike Anchondo, moments away from heading to the ring for the first time since he won the WBO super featherweight title last July. He lost that title on the scales Thursday night when he came in nearly 5 pounds over the limit. It was a surprising turn for a polished and engaging young man who many say is on the verge of superstardom. Let's take a closer look at the 22-year-old Anchondo.
Mighty Mike. My mother named me that. My beautiful mother named me. She brought home a shirt that had the name Mighty Mike written in the back, and I just took it up ever since then. It's a catchy name. My strengths, how can I start off? You know, I got a quick jab and quick right hand. The left hook is untouchable. I mean, you don't see the left hook coming. The uppercuts are flawless. The side-to-side movement, you got everything. Everything working for me. I got all corners covered. You know, I'm a very adaptable fighter. That's what makes it hard on my opponents, because they think I'm going to come in a certain way, and I just switch it up on them. I change up on them. And that's the key to success. I'm a crowd pleaser. Everyone's satisfied when they come to my fights and watch me perform. And that's what it's all about, really. You know, boxing is just one big performance. I rise up to what they want, which is a great fight. Come April 8th, you're definitely going to find out. ESPN will know, and you guys are going to say, oh, this kid was right.
So Mike Anchondo ready for this war. He goes into battle coming off a good month-plus camp with trainer Buddy McGirt. What is Teddy's fight plan for Mighty Mike? Here it is.
Well, for Anchondo, number one, in and out. You have the ability to outbox Barrios as he looks to walk in. You can get off punches, then get out and keep him off balance. Number two, straight right hand down the middle in between one of his wide left hooks. Could be very effective. And finally, number three, counter shots. Catch him coming in with uppercuts as he dips and bobs.
Well, here in South Florida, the fans love their Argentinian tough-nosed fighter, Jorge Barrios. You remember what it was like, the atmosphere, when he fought Freitas. Much the same here tonight. Suffered through 2 tragedies in his preparation for this fight. He lost his son, who was born premature and passed away 2 hours later. He also lost his lifelong dear friend and fellow boxer, Mateus Godoy, in a fatal car accident. He describes this as the worst time of his life. He won't discuss the morning. He says he's focused to fight. Teddy, what does he have to do?
Number one, shorten them up. That would be your punches. Instead of throwing the long, wide ones, try to tighten them a bit so be more effective and not leave openings. Number two, don't get tied up. On the inside, that is. You're not as versatile as Anchondo. You need to get the work done when you're in close. So you must keep your hands free and punch when you're inside. And finally, number three, downstairs and not one at a time. Body punching to take the mobility of Anchondo away would be smart. So would combination punching instead of looking for one at a time.
Now for the official introductions, let's send it to the incomparable Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Miccosukee Resort Gaming Convention Center, Miami, Florida, Main Events and Team Freedom present the featured bout of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Junior Lightweight Championship of the World. Brought to you in association with Golden Boy Promotions and sanctioned by the Miccosukee Athletic Commission Chairman Billy Cypress, Assistant Chairman Jasper Nelson, WBO President Francisco Paco Barcarcel. Because the champion was unable to make the mandatory weight, the following WBO stipulations apply. The challenger becomes champion with victory. Any other result, the title becomes vacant. The two highest ranking fighters in the WBO rankings will fight at a future date for that vacant title if it happens. The three judges at ringside scoring this contest will be Mark Streisand, Peter Trematera, and Rocky Young. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action inside the ring, Tommy Kimmins. And now for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red and blue, official weight 128 1/2 pounds, professional record 42 victories, including 30 knockouts, with only 2 defeats and 1 draw. Damas y caballeros de Buenos Aires, Argentina, Jorge La Hiena Barrios. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black and white, official weight 134 1/2 pounds. A perfect professional record consisting of 25 bouts, 25 victories, including 18 knockouts. From La Puente, California, here is the reigning WBO Junior Lightweight World Champion, Mighty Mike Anchondo.
I got it. Hey. Get some of that Vaseline off his face.
Tommy Kimmins dealing with the grease on the face.
12-round fight for the WBO Championship of the World, and I gave you the instructions. I want to remind you, this audience is here to watch you fight, so keep it clean. Touch them up.
Things almost reached their boiling point in a press conference on Wednesday. It was very tense here for the weigh-in yesterday, and now, finally, they are ready to go at it in a fight that has been hyped and talked about for many months as a potential fight of the year brawl. Let's see what they bring. Mike Anchondo, already stripped of his belt 24 hours ago. Jorge Barrios, inspired by the death of his son and his best friend during training camp, hungrier than ever, he says.
There's a lot of scar tissue around the eyes of Barrios, especially the right eye. Let's see if that becomes a factor in this fight. Both guys have been cut before. Anchondo only 2 fights ago over his left eye. Matter of fact, the scar tissue and the bleeding has been so much a part of Barrios' career that he had surgery to remove some of that scar tissue over both eyes, Joe.
I don't doubt he would go to any extent. You saw the numbers. 13 of the 48 combined fights of these two have ended by way of first-round knockout. Barrios has dropped 8 of his opponents out in the first round.
Early on, Barrios being more contained, more controlled, more technically responsible than sometimes he is. He likes to walk in. He's one-dimensional, but he can walk in wide. Right now, looking to bring his legs, not leave an opening. Looking to get into the right distance, using the jab to try to set up the right hand. So far, so good for Barrios.
Teddy, I want to talk about something. You talk about strategy and the game planning for a fight. They are both wearing, as you can see, blue Everlast gloves. And we know, coming off the Pacquiao-Morales fight, so much talk about the choice of gloves. When Anchondo came in overweight, one of the agreements to keep the fight alive was not just that he's docked $30,000 that goes to Barrios, but Barrios now gets to pick Everlast gloves over Reyes gloves, which were Anchondo's choice for both to wear for this fight.
Well, Barrios is looking for the punch that he feels is the safer punch, the safer glove.
Exactly.
He's a smaller man. He figures Anchondo, as you just said, Joe, coming in heavy. He figures he'll work with the glove that gives more protection. It could serve Anchondo in a way that Barrios is not aware. Everlast is a very compact, very good glove that gives a lot of protection. A lot of fighters feel that way. And Anchondo has had hand problems in the past. So without realizing it, Barrios may have helped Anchondo with the choice of Everlast glove. Not just because it's not maybe a real big puncher's glove, although of course you can hurt somebody with that glove. It's a good glove, but it protects the hands more, and Anchondo has to worry about that, especially if this fight goes the rounds we expect.
Anchondo with a left to the body and then a right hand upstairs.
Well, right now, Barrios doing what we expected.
Excuse me, Barrios with that left and then the right
Exactly.
upstairs.
Barrios doing what we expected. He's bringing it. He's coming forward. Anchondo's going to have to box and show the ability to be versatile. Go in, go out.
Barrios Anchondo for 12 rounds through 1.
Let's take a little peek at the last round action. Both missing, but Anchondo making a technical mistake, going straight back and eating a little bit of a left hook.
Second round, Mighty Mike Anchondo in the black with white trim, taking on the raw fury of Jorge Barrios in the red, white, and blue. You see the punches in round 1. Barrios 19-7 connect advantage. 15 of those 19 connects were power shots. He was 15 out of 36, good for 42% of his power punches landed.
I think most of us know that for Anchondo to win this fight, with the much more experienced Barrios, he's going to have to box. Barrios is going to be looking to be the man. More experienced guy, be the boss, come forward. But there's one other thing. If the rhythm starts going in Barrios' favor that Anchondo might have to do. He might have to hurt Barrios just to slow him down, keep him off him, get his respect. And if he does that, Joe, I think he has a window of opportunity offensively to do it with the straight right hand if Barrios shows a fat left hook.
Keep an eye open for that opportunity.
Right now, Anchondo looks very tight to me. Looks like mentally he hasn't gotten himself in gear.
Oh, how much did yesterday take out of him, Ted?
Mentally and physically, going into this kind of fight with this kind of opponent could have taken a lot out of him. Thoughts about him not being in top shape for this kind of fight with this kind of opponent. Mentally maybe starting to wonder about how will I handle this guy coming forward. It's not like he's in there with a cutie where he can say, well, I can get a slow pace. But if he's thinking about conditioning and he's in there with an opponent who's always coming 100 miles an hour, you know what? It could affect him a lot.
Tries to come in behind the jab that time with the right hand, missed the mark. Right to the body. Said yesterday at the weigh-in, did Barrios, if he can't beat me on the scale, how's he gonna beat me in the ring?
Anchondo looks a little meaty down in the body area.
Short right hand that time as Barrios fell in. Anchondo scores.
You wonder how long it's going to be before Barrios starts to test that meaty area of Anchondo. He knows he's heavy. Right now, the rhythm, the pace in Barrios' favor.
Start from the Argentinian, Jorge Barrios. Well, why have American fight fans fallen in love with Jorge Barrios? Let's take you back to August 2003, right here in Miami, when he was taking on the then unbeaten super champ, Acelino Freitas, and was leading on the scorecards, even with a horrible cut. He put Freitas down in the 11th, but Freitas rallied back and in the 12th round, they went toe-to-toe, and it ended up with Jorge Barrios being taken out. But it was such a courageous and brave showing. And in a fight that many felt was fight of the year, Freitas moved his record to 33-0 with the TKO win over Jorge Barrios. But it was one of those losses where you actually advance yourself, Teddy.
Exactly. Where your stock, as you just said, Joe, actually rises in defeat. And you saw in that footage the really active crowd there, a real animated crowd. We have that kind of atmosphere and the potential for that kind of explosiveness here with the backers of Barrios.
Barrios in the blue with red, Anchondo in the black with white trim. You see the punch stats from round number 2. Anchondo only 9 connects. He only had 7 in the first round. The 22-year-old with that stellar 25-0 record. Some saying he's one of the most well-rounded young fighters in the game today, and he's on the verge of superstardom. Needs to prove that right tonight.
There you see Anchondo doing something smart, tying up with Barrios, understanding what he should and shouldn't do with the stronger guy, Barrios. He doesn't want to fight inside. He wants to tie Barrios up on the inside. And if Anchondo's going to win this fight, he's already shown you, and our great fans at home, he thinks he's going to have to win it on the outside. He's shown that to you.
Tied up moments ago. Now back at range as Barrios tries to come over with a looping right hand.
And more importantly, Anchondo has shown his opponent, Barrios, that he doesn't feel he can stand with him on the inside. Barrios will take note of that and look to get inside more and more.
Tony Page is our ringside reporter tonight. Tony, what do you have for us?
Joe, I had a chance to talk to Buddy McGurk right before the fight. I asked him, were you going to change the strategy or change the pace of Anchondo? He said, absolutely not. But Anchondo's fighting at a slower pace. He's also not sweating, so I don't know if he's still dry. He's just not in the fight yet.
Good point, Tony. Thanks for that report. Teddy, what do you think?
Well, one other thing, he's also, and he being Anchondo, not landing as he's trying to box. Barrios, the guy we think of as a raw guy, a walking guy, being smart, coming in at the right times, moving his head as he comes in. If Anchondo can't hit Barrios, well, you'd have problems with anybody.
You know, Teddy, you could make the analogy that preparing for a major fight is sort of like flying a plane. You want it to be smooth, not turbulent on the travel of training camp to get there, but then you want to have a nice, smooth landing. This was not a smooth landing as they approach the runway here in Miami for the camp of Mike Anchondo.
And Anchondo looking for a smooth landing with a right hand. And he thinks that he might get the runway for that, as Barrios, even though he's having his way so far, gives you openings with those wide shots. Right now he hasn't paid a price, but there goes a nice left hook by Barrios.
Jorge Barrios! 5, 6, hooks down Mike Anchondo.
Well, that's not going to help his mental state. 8! You okay? And it's not helping his legs. The legs very unsteady with Anchondo.
In the closing moments of this third round, an explosive score from Barrios.
Anchondo looks lost in that corner. And he hasn't looked good from the outside. He's looked like a guy who is not sure of himself while going into the biggest fight so far of his life.
Relax, you're too tight. Okay?
Buddy McGurk.
How you feeling?
With Mike
Come on, talk to me, Mike. You all right? You sure now? Okay now. Now listen, you gotta go back to the gym.
Trying to recover from that knockdown moments ago, Teddy. Let's take a look back at the conclusion of the third round.
Well, it's Barrios controlling the rhythm, pressing, coming forward, being the man, being the boss. Right hand, a little bit of a step back, and it looks like the right hand behind the ear. We'll take another look right here. Missed left hook by Barrios, but he's the one coming in position. That right hand, not what you would think an explosive punch, not on the jaw, but behind the ear. Kind of punch that distorts your equilibrium, throws off the inner ear, messes your legs up.
And the kind of punch that can have lasting effects into the next round. Let's take a look at the legs of Mike Anchondo and see if he steadied himself. Mike Anchondo, undefeated at 25-0. But the toughest test of his young career in the midst of it now. Jorge Barrios scoring the knockdown in the 3rd round. Right hand to the same spot that time.
You know, I touched on it earlier, and I'm going to touch on it again, and I'm going to touch on it with more emphasis.
Let him go.
Anchondo, we all knew to win this fight he had to outbox Barrios, who can be one-dimensional, but he uses that one dimension very well, always coming forward. But I mentioned it early. I believe Anchondo now is going to have to hurt Barrios to get his respect, to stop the flow from going the way it's going, and stop it from becoming a one-way fight.
Looping left and a short right hand on the inside, and Anchondo's down for the 2nd time.
And Anchondo, his body language is not good. He looks like a guy who does not want to be in the ring, who is not sure of himself, not sure that he can turn this around right now.
Acelino Freitas was put down by Jorge Barrios. He came up with a dramatic come-from-behind win. Can Mike Anchondo do the same? Now he's just holding on for survival.
Well, he's holding on because of another good right hand. And there's been a home for the right hand of Barrios. And give him credit, he's staying with it. If it's broke, he's not going to fix it.
Clouded eyes, a bloody nose, and still over a minute to go here in the 4th round. He goes down again. Anchondo trying to crawl back. Oh, they're getting a deduction here. What's going on? 2-point deduction. 2-point deduction intentional. Unbelievable turn of events.
Well, Buddy McGurk,
this fight's going to be over. This fight is over.
Even though his fighter was going to get a reprieve there, which we're confused about. We don't know. We're going to find out. We don't know why the referee stepped in there and gave a reprieve there to Anchondo and was taking 2 points away. But even though it looked like there was going to be a second chance for Anchondo to get himself together, Buddy McGurk stepped up and stopped his fight.
Listen, the bottom line is Anchondo was hurt. Barrios hit him intentionally when he was down. It's an instant 2-point deduction. But it doesn't matter in the eyes of his trainer, Buddy McGurk, because he was absolutely wrecked.
The only thing that a lot of people are going to say, and Buddy McGurk is a terrific trainer, former 2-time world champion. A lot of people are going to say, but wait a minute, how much time would Anchondo been given by the referee after giving off those 2-point deductions to get himself back together? But as you said, it's the call of the trainer. The trainer has to know his fighter. And Buddy McGurk saw the eyes of Anchondo, saw the behavior, saw the body language that we talked about, Joe, of Anchondo. And he made a decision to stop this fight and protect his fighter.
Teddy, Mike Anchondo is a very nice, engaging young man. He's likable. He's good for the sport of boxing. But what you saw out of Jorge Barrios, not just tonight, but leading up to this fight, the dedication coming in at a sharp 128 pounds, the motivation on the heels of the death of his infant son and his best friend in a fatal car accident. This is what this sport is all about. Focus, determination, and results. And that came in the form of a TKO win for Jorge Barrios. Let's take a look at the action in the 4th round, Teddy, and we'll start off with the first knockdown.
Well, again, you're going to see who the boss is. And the boss is the man coming forward. Barrios taking control of this fight, landing that right hand earlier. Probably a delayed knockdown there from that right hand behind the ear. 3 punches earlier from Barrios. Here's a look at the end of the fight, the second knockdown in that round. Nothing fancy here, just some clubbing. Barrios, we talked about the body language earlier of Anchondo. Barrios dominating Anchondo, just getting into his soul, getting into his mind, controlling his body, dominating this fight.
Argentina has a new world champion, and Michael Buffer's going to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Miccosukee Resort, the blue corner of Mike Anchondo indicated to the referee that they retired their fighter. The official time, Tommy Kimmon stops it at 2 minutes of round number 4. The winner and new WBO junior lightweight champion of the world, de Buenos Aires, Argentina, Jorge La Hiena Barrios.
You think the Argentinian can contingency is going to be partying on South Beach tonight. Their man is the WBO champ. And now he's standing by with our Tony Page.
Thanks very much, Joe. You said you were going to knock him out. You're a man of your word.
Tú sos un hombre de palabra porque dijiste que lo ibas a noquear y lo noqueaste. Sí, pero se me escaparon 2 rounds, porque ya he hecho 6 y se me fue en 4. He said that it's very bad because he's in 6 and he fought only in 4. He's very upset for that. He wanted to give him 2 extra rounds.
So you brought Argentina here. How does it feel to take the championship back to Argentina?
¿Cómo te sentís después de haber traído a la Argentina acá y llevarlo a la Argentina al campeonato mundial? Bueno, muy feliz. Y también se lo quiero dedicar a toda la gente de mi barrio, del Rincón del Milo, que sabe que lo busco de toda mi vida. A mi familia, a mi mujer y mis hijos, mis 2 hijos que amo, y a mis hermanos, y a mis hermanos especialmente, que son ellos que toda la vida supieron que es lo que yo quería de corazón. Estoy muy contento por haber tenido el título, pero como dijo antes, vine, peleé y cumplí, y ahora me quiero ir para mi casa y seguir con mi escuela y seguir con todo. He said that what he promised he delivered. He's a champion. He wants to say thank you to all these people in Argentina, especially in his place, which is in El Tigre, and all his family, his wife, his lovely daughters, and all the family. And he proved this is a real champion, and he had it for a long time now.
Let's go down to ringside. The new champion. Let's go down to Joe Tessitore.
Sounds good for this mostly Argentinian crowd here in Miami, Florida. The celebration has begun. Jorge Barrios captures the WBO 130-pound title. A look at his efforts in the 4th round. The TKO stoppage. 3 knockdowns scored for Jorge Barrios. He is the champion of the world for Mike Anchondo. He suffers his first loss, drops now to 25-1, the 43rd win of Jorge Barrios' career, and it comes with a world title attached. Ryan Kenny, he was great.
Yeah, look, Joe, he was great. Floyd Mayweather is with us here in the studio, and, you know, we knew what Barrios could do, and that's pretty much what he could do. What surprised me is Anchondo coming in. We know Floyd, he's overweight, but he's dry, he's cold, he's unfocused. The first body shot he took, what do you think watching that?
I don't know. I really don't know.
How does that happen to a guy? You think can a guy just not train? Do you think he was training? 3 weeks ago, by the way, we were shooting that. We had all those promos, and he was looked cut, and he looked in good shape, and he looked ready to go. 3 weeks ago, and now he comes into the ring. He didn't look ready to go.
Could have had personal problems.
You think something shut down inside?
Personal going on in his life.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about Barrios now? Where can he go now? You abdicated that weight class, left your throne.
Unification bout, I think, with Barrera. Unification bout with Barrera, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm. That's not a unification bout? I don't even know who has all those belts now.
I know
Barrera has those belts?
I used to have a BC at that weight. So
okay. I don't watch all those belts. Look at Ring Magazine champion.
Okay.
As you were. All right. Let's talk more about some of the news in the world of sports. A guy who was once the heavyweight champion of the world back in the ring last night. Riddick Bowe, 37 years old.